Now at 5, we're going to hear from a McDonald County teacher on the district's planned change to a 4-day school week. Plus, we'll meet a Southeast Kansas native who'll be headed to Paris to compete in this year's Olympics. And the battle over a controversial Texas immigration law continues to work its way through the court system.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The McDonald County, Missouri School District is the latest in our area to announce it'll move to a 4-day school week. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Students in McDonald County schools can expect to have their Mondays off starting in the fall. The district says the decision stems from a critical shortage of qualified educators. Officials say the allure of higher paying positions in neighboring states is a big reason. The school will be 1 day shorter. The school week will be. Officials say students can still expect to have the same amount of instructional time overall. Teachers will also have more time for professional development.
Contract time is not going down for teachers. They are not working less. That is just restructured. Kind of the same for students too. So we're restructuring that time. They're actually going to have more instructional minutes than they currently have. And before we started working with the committee, I did not even realize that that was going to be a possibility, to be honest with you. So one of the reasons that we started looking at this is looking at how do we retain and then recruit high quality teachers.
We're going to speak with the McDonald County Superintendent to hear more about the decision tonight at 6. A Girard, Kansas native is going to the Summer Olympics in Paris. Derek Mine secured one of the 2 spots on the U.S. men's trap shooting team. Mine participated in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, but this time around he's going to have his family by his side, an extra layer of motivation.
It's been awesome. You know, they've been behind me since I started shooting at a young age. They've been there every step of the way, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. You know, they're some of my biggest supporters.
It's always been a dream, so I think him fulfilling that dream. Tokyo was a dream to go. Now he's on a mission to win a medal this time.
Mine is a 2024 CAT Games gold medalist and a 2022 world champion. He and his parents are also supporting the start of the Girard High School trap team. We're going to have a lot more on this story for you tonight at 6. Some Pittsburgh students today performed random acts of kindness. One of 3 groups of St. Mary's Colgan High Schoolers went to the Meadowbrook Mall and handed out flowers to people randomly. They also included a card expressing their mission to have a great day and leave people with a smile.
Been a lot of smiles, just a lot of appreciation for what we've given them. Like Ethan mentioned, just they give a lot. Like the Pittsburgh community gives a lot to us, and so in return, it's time that we did something a little bit back to them, and just show that we appreciate each another, and that we look forward to just getting to know them better.
The other 2 groups from the school performed their random acts of kindness by cleaning up around the community, getting some hugs in return. Nice day for the first full day of spring. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's turned out to be another great one across the region. Temperatures upper 60s to near 70 degrees, and that is where we sit right now at 68 in Joplin, 63 in Pittsburgh. A little bit cooler in our northern counties. We have a boundary or a kind of a stationary front kind of sitting in our southern counties, so that's why it's warmer near 70 degrees. But along that little front, we have been getting some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. We have northeasterly winds kicking in, so it is going to stay kind of breezy as we go through the evening hours, and you can see these hit and miss showers across the region, especially Delaware County moving into Benton County. Most of you will end up staying dry as we go through the evening, as most of these will stay south of the area. Temperatures are going to cool down a little bit as we head toward the weekend. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. The Supreme Court yesterday kicked an argument over a Texas immigration law back to the courts. The decision allowed the law to immediately go into effect, but that reprieve lasted only a few hours. Natalie Brand has the latest now from Washington, D.C.
Texas law enforcement for now cannot detain migrants suspected of entering the country illegally after an appeals court paused a new state law while it hears arguments on the matter today.
Texas has decided that we are at the epicenter of this crisis. We are on the front line and we are going to do something about it.
Texas Senate Bill 4 would not only allow state authorities to make arrests, but it could allow state judges to issue deportation orders.
This is the first time, it seems to me, that a state has claimed that they have the right to remove illegal aliens.
Sheriff Martin Cuellar of Webb County, Texas, says he has concerns.
We're not immigration officers, and we have to get trained to make sure that we are following the rule of the law.
Attorney Kathleen Bush Joseph with the Migration Policy Institute says she's worried about confusion on the ground and the legal precedent it could set.
Talk about what you think the implications of this bill could be if it were to take effect.
This would absolutely be a sea change. For over a century, the Supreme Court has upheld the principle that the federal government sets immigration policy.
While the fight plays out in the courts, Mexico's government has already said it will not accept under any circumstances people deported by the state of Texas. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Now, President Biden, whom Republicans blame for the increase of migrants at the border, is campaigning in Arizona and in Texas today. The United States is no longer among the 20 happiest countries in the world. That's according to the newly released 2024 World Happiness Report. The U.S. now ranks number 23 compared to 15 last year. Researchers attribute the drop in part to a decline in how Americans under 30 feel about their lives. Scandinavian countries topped the list. Finland finished first, 7th year in a row. Still ahead, I'll get back my voice and caring for the caregivers.
The top stressors for caregivers of Alzheimer's patients. I'm Cristian Benavides with One Family Story.
Topping today's Health Watch, a new study finds e-cigarette users experience similar changes to the DNA of certain cells as smokers. Researchers in London looked at e-cigarette users who smoked fewer than 100 traditional cigarettes in their lives. They say they saw genetic changes similar to the ones associated with the future development of lung cancer in smokers. For breast cancer patients whose disease has spread, a new study finds exercise can reduce pain and fatigue and improve quality of life. Researchers in the Netherlands found the greatest improvement among patients under age 50. Researchers aren't sure exactly why exercise helps with pain, but suspect it helps in reducing inflammation. Nearly 7 million adults over age 65 have Alzheimer's dementia in the United States. That's according to the Alzheimer's Association. Their latest report highlights the significant burden caregivers face. Cristian Benavides has One Family's story.
73-year-old Steve Marcus was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2020. His wife of 50 years, Ruth, is now his caregiver, or as she says, care partner.
A caregiver just sounds like it's all about me. And he's in on this as much as I am.
Steve is still in the early stages of the disease, but it has progressed. It's put stress on Ruth, from having to figure out finances to managing care.
Getting appointments can be daunting and frustrating and upsetting.
And taking a deep emotional toll.
I felt like I'm alone in all of this.
The latest report from the Alzheimer's Association finds caregivers are facing increasing stress. The top 5 stressors are cost, coordinating with multiple doctors, securing appointments, getting help, taking a break, and finding appropriate doctors.
Where to start, how to find the right doctor, understanding the disease. How can I make my way through this very complex system?
The report also found caregivers are not finding enough support to navigate resources which may be available.
You don't have to face this disease alone. The Alzheimer's Association has a 24/7 helpline that could answer your questions, connect you to resources.
Support is so important.
Ruth also connected with others who are caring for their loved ones battling the disease.
Don't wait. Get your family involved, get your friends involved.
The couple is planning to go on a cruise this summer, another important step, trying to keep some sense of normalcy in the face of change. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The report also finds 60% of healthcare workers say the healthcare system is not effectively helping patients and their caregivers manage dementia care. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about why frogs croak.
Plus, we have some showers in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, another pretty good day for us today. Temperatures upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Still a little bit on the breezy side, but overall, it's turned out to be a nice day. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, we have had a few scattered showers that have popped up over the past several hours, mainly in our southern counties. We have a weak little boundary, or kind of like a stationary front, centered in our southern county, so that's why we are seeing a few pop-up showers, a little bit heavier once you get across Delaware County into Benton County, but most of you are going to stay dry as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Any bigger storms are going to stay out to the north and to the west of Oklahoma City, but this is due to this little upper level wave right across parts of New Mexico, which is going to kind of slide to our south over the next couple days, and because it is going to move to our south, most of the rain will stay down there, but we are going to get a random shower or two. All right, cooler northern county, 62 Nevada, 68 in Carthage, 71 Anderson to Bella Vista, 69 Miami, 70 at Grand Lake. Iola is sitting at 61. 7th and Rangeline looking pretty good, 68. Northerly winds at about 10, but those gusts upwards to about 20 or 25. And we are going to have these northeasterly winds kind of picking up as we go through the next few hours. Through the evening, we slide back through the 60s, 50s, mid 40s once again for us later on tonight. But any scattered showers, again, mainly in our southern counties. Everybody else, just clouds sticking around. By morning, random shower out there, especially in our southern counties. Most of the day looks pretty good. We go into lower 60s by noon, and then we should push 70 once again tomorrow afternoon. As we go into tomorrow night, some spotty little showers popping up once again, mainly southern counties, so most of us stay dry. As we go into Friday, we start near 50. We do get a cold front that slides in. This could give us a couple little spotty showers as well. And behind this front, cooler air, not cold, but a little bit cooler air will work in by the time we head into the weekend. So we're going to drop back into the low to mid 30s for lows by Saturday morning. All right, your Thursday day planner, 48 start, 63 by noon, high temp, right around 69 degrees. Let's look into the weekend, only into the upper 50s for highs on Saturday, so it will be cooler. And then as we head into Sunday, then our next stronger storm system is going to roll out. Showers will start to increase here Sunday afternoon, and then scattered thunderstorms will increase as we go into Sunday night and Monday morning. Some of these storms may be a little bit stronger, but I think the greater severe threat will stay to our south. If you notice, our temperatures were into the 50s, so we're kind of teetering on that. But we should at least get some beneficial rain out of this system. So if we look at rainfall over the next several days, including our random little showers, by Monday, a lot of areas will pick up half an inch to an inch, which is good. It is springtime, so we can use it. 69 on your Thursday, 66 Friday, 59 Saturday, but we are going to have sunshine. Those storms late Sunday, Sunday night. Monday and Tuesday look good. Some random showers next Wednesday as well.
Yeah, the highs at least looking pretty pleasant. For
yeah, overall, not bad.
Thanks, Doug. Tapping the brakes on a vehicle emissions rule. Coming up, we're going to learn how the Biden administration is slowing down its climate agenda. Topping today's Consumer Watch, as expected, the Federal Reserve is not cutting interest rates, but the board predicts a cut could come later this year if inflation drops. Michael George has details.
From the gas pump to the grocery store,
just trying to look for the best deal.
Americans continue to deal with years of high inflation.
It's really expensive out here.
That's why the Federal Reserve has decided to keep its benchmark interest rate at a 20-year high.
Inflation is still too high. Ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured.
High rates continue to make borrowing more expensive. Used car loans are up to nearly 12%. and the average credit card interest rate is at a record high. The Fed has kept the benchmark unchanged since July, believing it would lead to lower prices. But in that time, inflation has barely budged, remaining above 3% the entire time. Policymakers want it at just 2%. The Federal Reserve sees changes on the horizon. In a new report, the board predicts the job market and economy will both slow down in the coming months, causing inflation to drop. If that happens, the Fed could start cutting interest rates.
If the economy evolves broadly as expected, it will likely be appropriate to begin dialing back policy restraint at some point this year.
In its economic projections, the Federal Reserve officials are thinking there are going to be 3/4 point drops this year. That could start as soon as the next meeting in May, but most people believe that it will begin at the June meeting.
But the Fed warns it will only cut rates if inflation comes down. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The Biden administration today finalized an important aspect of its climate agenda. It has to do with emissions from passenger cars and trucks. Now, last year, the Environmental Protection Agency pushed for a rule calling for 2/3 of all vehicles sold in the U.S. to be electric by the end of the decade. But the auto industry pushed back, and now the rule will be phased in more slowly. Global electronic waste has grown to record levels and is expanding 5 times faster than rates of recycling. According to a new United Nations report, in 2022, the world generated 62 million metric tons of electronic waste, also known as e-waste. That's an 82% increase since 2010 and enough to fill more than 1.5 million 40-ton trucks. If placed bumper to bumper, they would form a line long enough to wrap around the earth. Our Pet Vet on Call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Nora O'Donnell interviews the CEO of CVS about how personal tragedies shaped her mission. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the changes coming to the McDonald County School District as they switch to a 4-day school week. Plus, the City of Joplin pushes residents to renew a capital improvement sales tax on the April ballot. And Mount Vernon is hosting a softball tournament this week. We're going to break down the matchups. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. This is the first full day of spring, and as the season progresses, you're going to notice more and more sounds of nature. It brings us to today's question for our Pet Vet on Call. Why do frogs seem to all start croaking at once?
Because they all wake up at the same time. Think about it. They've been hibernating in frozen ponds or underneath the topsoil that's been frozen. And as spring comes along and everything melts, they all wake up at the same time. And now they're looking for friends and mates and that kind of stuff. So it's really one of the first and one of my favorite signs of spring.
And we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Hey, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. First up, we have Grumples from the Joplin Humane Society. Shelter says he's an adult domestic short-hair cat. And then we have Zappa, a 4-year-old male hound pointer mix from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Smiley face dog there, looks like a great one. Pretty nice weather out there, Doug.
Yeah, it looks pretty good as we go through the evening hours. There are a few random showers, mainly in our southern counties, and that's what we're going to see over the next couple days, a pop-up random shower, staying into the 60s. A little bit cooler on Saturday, and then some thunderstorms possible late Sunday, just kind of up and down temperatures over the next week or so.
As we should expect for spring. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.